What guarantees a consistent flow for people when you see that some people have never really seen lack, as it were, or they break through and they start having things consistently? It's not just because they have faith alone, it's because they have put the principles of savings into practice. Hi, welcome to SOS again. We are here, you are there, and we believe strongly that this is blessing you. We believe strongly that this is helping you, and God will continue to reveal himself to you more and more as we emphatically answer all your questions. Without wasting much time, let me get into the question for today. The question says that we've been taught that we should always have savings or save, especially for rainy days. But where does faith in God to provide for our needs play a part in all of these? Another way of saying, what is my faith? If I'm saving for a rainy day, then what is the work of faith? Or what is the work of faith? Then I don't need to save for a rainy day or something like that. Well, I'll first say that if you understand what faith is, it is not primarily to provide for your needs. I think over the years, because we serve a God that is a provider, a nurturer, a God that takes care of us, everyone has associated the basic use of faith to getting our needs met. A child does not necessarily have to have faith for the parent to meet the child's needs, because it is the responsibility of that parent to do that. Faith, according to Hebrews 11:6, was primarily given to us. If you read the New Living Translation, you will see it well stated there. It was literally given to us to please God. Anything we are doing, that's why the Bible says that it's not of faith is sin, because sin does not please God. So faith, according to Hebrews 11, it says it that must come to God, must believe that he is, and is the word of them that diligently seek him, because without faith, it is impossible to please God. Now, it is the pleasing of God that now will guarantee all the other exploits that we see from the next verse, like verse 7, verse 8, where it started saying, by faith, this one did this, by faith, this one did that. Most times we focus on what faith did in the lives of those people, that we forget to understand that faith is essentially towards God. It is what faith does for God. So without faith in God, absolute trust, reliance on God, you can't please him. So don't always associate your needs being met to just faith alone. I'm not saying you can't use faith to receive things. I'm just saying that the primary reason for faith is that without it, the Bible says you can't please God. So if you're going to live a pleasing life to God, that means you have to walk in faith. Now, what faith produces for you? If I come down to that level that believes faith is there to provide things, fine. What faith produces for you, it is savings that will keep whatever faith brings. Pharaoh had a dream. Joseph had a gift. Joseph had faith in God, and when he interpreted the dream, Pharaoh gave him all the glory and wanted him to solve the problem. And Joseph made it clear that there's a God in heaven that reveals secrets, that this is the doings of God. And from there, he gave a wisdom to Pharaoh that let's save when we have plenty. Now, that provision is probably a provision of faith. Now, what did they do with the abundance that faith gave to them? They saved it for, as it were, rainy days, because God designed the earth that there will be time when you will abound, there will be time when you are abase. There is no, what guarantees a consistent flow for people when you see that some people have never really seen lack, as it were, or they break through and they start having things consistently. It's not just because they have faith alone, it's because they have put the principles of savings into practice. Whatever miracle you need, You need faith to connect to it. However, your miracles will not work on emptiness. Miracles in the Bible always need something from the person seeking it for it to work. The widow needed to have his oil. Peter needed to have his net. And I can go on and on. Jesus multiplied food, but he still needed raw materials, little, for him to breathe upon. So to me, it seems the miraculous that we seek always comes when the divinity mixes with what we have. That seems insufficient, but God makes it to multiply. Now, imagine the scenario where there was nothing for the disciples to present to Jesus. That means there will be nothing for Jesus to multiply. And I know you are thinking now, well, what about the manners that were descending from heaven? God still told them to gather and eat. He told them not to save it because he wanted them to depend on him, because they were coming from a situation where they are used to rations being given to them, and God just wanted their faith to look up. And when they were tired of manna, God gave them fish in abundance. So you will not see anywhere that because God told them not to save manna, he said they should live a life where they will live recklessly. I believe living a life of faith without the principle of saving is to live recklessly. At most, if you save a little and your rainy day comes and the little cannot help you, God can tell you what to do with that so that you can bring about your abundance. So savings is not an absence of faith. As a matter of fact, savings is also an extension of your faith. You believe that whatever little you have, you are telling God, just like Jesus told his disciples, gather everything so that nothing be wasted. There is power in fragments. There is a blessing in the fragments that you have. But if you don't gather them together, the effect, the power of fragments will never come to bear. So savings is another way of making all the fragments that you have from the blessings you have received by faith. You use savings to put them together. So savings should not make you trust in savings. Savings should just make you know that you have a seed to bring when God will make a demand in the days where you don't have enough. Faith is what pleases God. And part of pleasing God is that you do whatever he has told you. You see, in that same Hebrews, he said some didn't even receive the promise, but they kept on seeking. And God listed them because believing him for what he told them, even without result, as far as God is concerned, is an act of faith, and faith pleases God. I hope you're able to find your answer in all this, but I will summarize it this way. Keep using your faith to please God, looking upwards for your need. And whatever God gives you, don't be a waster. Make sure you are saving part of it. God does not encourage wastage. It says, honor the Lord with your substance, with the first fruit of your increase. The next thing after that is, so shall your barns, your savings, be filled with plenty. If you don't have where you are, a barn where you are saving God's blessings, part of it, the day will come that you need to draw on something to receive from God. You will need a connection to your faith, and you may not really find there. And I pray, because God is also a God of the future, he doesn't just provide for you now, he also provides richly, abundantly, all things for you to enjoy, which includes your future. But you can eat your future now by saying you just want to live by faith and you don't want to save. So the role of faith is to help you please God and know what he wants you to do at every point in time. When you get stuck, you can meet him. You will not see saints in the Bible really pray for food. Most of them, like Elijah, the disciples, when they went out fishing looking for food, Jesus was waiting at the shore already with bread and fish. Most of them lived a life that pleased God, and when they do that, God is committed to blessing them. I pray that you will understand the balance between faith and savings, but saving is not a lack of faith, and faith does not necessarily cancel savings. Thank you for listening. God bless you. I'll see you same time next time.